Akane Kinoshita recalls the exact moment her ex-boyfriend abruptly dumped her in a coffee afternoon, merely telling her that he has fallen in love with someone else. This is all told to Momoko Mita, her best friend. She can't believe that Akane has been cheated on by a waifu that her ex-boyfriend met through the video game Forest of Saviors. In fact, Akane shows her that the last message her ex-boyfriend sent her was only to ask her for some items he had given her. Momoko is indignant when she reads this, as she doesn't know much about video games. Before leaving, Momo gives her the best advice for a depressed person: shutting oneself away. Isolating oneself and neglecting day-to-day activities only leads to more depression. For this reason, Akane takes advantage of her time alone and decides to play some Forest of Savior to see if her ex-boyfriend removed her from his friends list. And after confirming that he did, she starts to take it out on several NPCs. At that point, she encounters a strange, expressionless player, which she recognizes as Yamada, one of her guild mates. She greets him politely and is irritated to see that he takes more than 2 minutes to answer such simple things as hello or yes. Then, he explains to her that he is looking for a strange and exclusive item, but she replies that she is not looking for the same thing, but that she is taking it out on the monsters of the game for what her ex-boyfriend did to her, taking advantage of the moment to catharsis and tell Yamada about everything that has happened. After flaming Yamada for a long time for his disinterest, Akane disconnects. But when she was about to close the game, she receives an invitation to celebrate the first anniversary of the game, and reads that at the event they will give away codes for a lot of exclusive content and rare items. At that moment, it comes to her mind that her ex-boyfriend will also attend the event, so she goes to the university and asks Momo to accompany her to buy clothes that will make the boy feel sorry for breaking up with Akane. Upon arriving at the event, Akane goes all over the place looking to be seen by Takuma, her ex-boyfriend, but when she finally finds him, she sees his new girlfriend and is heartbroken. As if that wasn't enough, she suffers the top one humiliating thing that can happen to a person: falling down in public. At that moment, a very handsome young man approaches her and returns the shoe she dropped when she tripped. Akane is shocked to see the boy's attractiveness, but realizes almost immediately that he is Yamada, as he is just as cold and expressionless as in the game. At that moment, Takuma appears and demonstrates his enormous fanaticism for Yamada, thus revealing that Yamada is a very famous professional gamer in the community. Akane seizes the moment and pretends that Yamada is her boyfriend, and although he denied it at first, she begged him and bribed him by giving him a code to obtain the item that Yamada was looking for days ago. Takuma is saddened to see Akane near Yamada, but not because of her, but because he has tried to approach Yamada many times, but he was not interested in talking to him. Seeing this, Akane feels victorious, but her opinion changes when she sees Takuma being comforted by his new girlfriend. Because of this, she drags Yamada to a bar to unburden her sorrows, but her plan doesn't go very well, as he is extremely indifferent. After drinking so much, Akane feels like going to the bathroom, and upon seeing herself in the mirror, she notices that her appearance is not even close to being the best, besides having some wounds due to the stumble she had in the afternoon. Leaving the bathroom, she thinks Yamada has left, since she was practically forcing him to stay. But he appears with a pack of bandages and places them on Akane's ankle, so she continues to drink and unwind. The next day, Akane wakes up hungover and confused, as she hears voices in her room. When she opens her eyes, she sees that she is in Yamada's bed and is perplexed. Although the situation makes Akane feel humiliated, Yamada approaches her and explains that she shouldn't worry, as he only took her home because he had too many drinks and couldn't leave her lying in the bar. He also explains that he paid the bill for her and washed the clothes she threw up. Upon returning home, Akane notices that she is not wearing her necklace, so she begins to think that she left it at Yamada's house. So she decides to log into the game and ask him for it, but she can't find it online. At that moment, Ruri, the leader of the guild to which Akane belongs, asks her how she feels, so Akane seizes the moment and unwinds with the waifu. While they were talking, Yamada comes online and Ruri runs to greet him. In order not to interrupt them, Akane writes a private message to Yamada to ask him if he has seen the necklace, but he only replies that he hasn't. Also, he starts to ask Ruri if she knows the person who fills the guild's inventory of useless items, but Akane interrupts them and tells them it's her. Ruri tries to defend her, but Yamada replies that those items are useless and that she should better manage what she keeps and what she doesn't. After this, Akane immediately disconnects, and while Ruri scolds Yamada for his coldness, he leaves the game for a few seconds and accidentally steps on Akane's necklace, breaking it on the spot. While Akane was returning home, she sees two high school girls confessing to Yamada, so she sneaks past to see his reaction. But seeing that he practically left the waifu talking to herself, she runs to exhort him by telling him that he shouldn't be so cold to someone who is opening his heart to her. He seizes the moment to give her the necklace he forgot at home, as well as apologizing for accidentally breaking it. The two travel the road they have in common, and along the way, Akane discovers that Yamada is in the 3rd year of high school, and attends a school for very intelligent people. At the end of the road, the two say goodbye, but Akane is surprised when Yamada runs up to her to give her an umbrella. The next day at night, Akane receives all her things in an encomienda, as her mother wants to free up that space in her house. Momo arrives to help her make room and tells her that she must get rid of all those things that are no longer Utley's, but Akane resists. While sorting things, Momo shows her the necklace and the umbrella that Yamada gave her, telling her that the necklace is broken and useless, while the umbrella is practically new. At that moment, Akane remembers what Yamada mentioned about the limited space in the game's inventory and decides to throw a lot more things in the trash, since she understood that those things were useful in the past, but they are not useful now. Afterwards, both girls go to get some dinner and Momo gets drunk, but they both go to Yamada's house anyway to thank him for the great advice he gave her. Momoko drags Akane on a double date with a new guy to help her get over Takuma, but she implies in every possible way that she wants to run away from that place. Upon returning home, Akane logs on to Forest of Savior to play with her friends, but sees Yamada and Ruri talking intimately, so she begins to suspect that they are in a relationship, as Yamada doesn't seem to be as cold to Ruri as he is to everyone else. The next day, all he thinks about is that during school hours, he even starts looking up their profiles on the internet. On her way out, she runs into the boy from the beginning with whom she had a failed date. Although the boy tried to strike up a conversation with Akane in a friendly way, she couldn't stop thinking about Ruri and Yamada. In fact, she sees a girl very similar to Ruri next to Yamada, so she starts to get even more suspicious. When she arrives home, her suspicions are confirmed, as Ruri tells her that she has met Yamada in the afternoon. Furthermore, the waifu invites her to a video game-themed coffee shop, and although Akane wanted to decline the invitation, Ruri was very insistent and managed to convince her. Getting off the transport, Akane tries to locate the place using her cell phone's GPS, but a young man bumps into her and throws her cell phone to the ground. He realizes that she also wants to go to the Jugo-themed cafe, so he helps her get there. On the way, he talks incessantly about how much he loves the game, to the point of leaving Akane almost speechless. When Akane sees Yamada in the distance, she runs to greet him, but Ruri doesn't recognize her and makes a little jealous scene in front of her, which leaves Akane confused. During lunch, things are super awkward between Ruri and Akane, as the little waifu doesn't look at all like the sweet girl she met in the game. At that moment, each of the guild members starts to introduce themselves, and Akane discovers that Ida, the guy with glasses she met a few minutes ago, is the one who embodies Ruri in the game, and that the girl next to her is her sister, on whom she based Ruri's appearance, her avatar. This is a shock to Akane, since she talked a lot with Ruri, thinking she was a girl, but she immediately understands that Ida is an excellent person, and that she never had bad intentions. Logically, this also eases Akane's worries about Ruri and Yamada's relationship. However, Ida's younger sister Runa makes Akane uncomfortable by asking her if she has feelings for Yamada, which makes her nervous and causes her to drop the glass from her hand. Akane feels extremely tense because of this, but is calmed down when Yamada leaves the place to make a phone call and Ida goes after him. When they are both out of the place, Ida tells Yamada that he knew he faked the phone call, and Yamada replies that he did it because he saw Akane very tense after Runa's comment. Ida tries to make him see that Akane evidently feels something about it, and that's why she got so nervous. But Yamada doesn't think so. At the end of the meeting, Ida and Komodo say goodbye to everyone, while Yamada and Akane travel on their own, since they live nearby. Seeing that Yamada was going to have nothing but flan for dinner, Akane asks him to wait for her for a few minutes and runs to his apartment to get frozen food and give him portions for the whole week, which touches Yamada. As they were about to say goodbye, Akane receives a call from Runa, who apologizes for her rude behavior and invites Akane to share the evening next Saturday. Upon arriving home, Yamada checks Runa's online schedule and discovers that she will be busy next Saturday. As that day arrives, Yamada receives a call from Ida, who reminds him to tutor Runa, so he becomes even more suspicious of Runa's intentions with Akane. When Akane arrives at the place where she was invited by Runa, she finds a rather disturbing simp who keeps repeating to her that he is a big fan of Ruri, so she decides to go to the bathroom to ask Runa what is going on. Meanwhile, Yamada arrives at Runa's house to start classes and realizes what she has done when she rejects a call from Akane, so the girl ends up confessing everything to Yamada and Ida, who calls Komoda to help them. Komoda rushes them away in his vehicle, and Ida takes advantage of the trip to make Runa think things over. Upon arrival, they find Akane with her simp and notice that she has hurt her leg. Ida is furious and intimidates the simp, but Akane explains that it was all a misunderstanding. Seeing all this, Runa bitterly flees the place, but worries about Akane when she gets hurt trying to chase her, so she goes back to her and begs her to forgive her. Akane seizes the moment and fakes a stomach ache to ask her friends to buy her medicine. Once alone with Runa, Akane does everything possible so that Runa does not feel bad about what happened, since she knows that Ida will give her a sermon when she gets home. Runa begins to cry inconsolably when she sees how kind Akane is to her in spite of everything, so Akane explains to her that all she wants is for them to be friends. When the group returns from the pharmacy, they see the whole situation and can't believe it. Days later, Yamada receives a call from Ida, and upon answering, Ida asks him to go to Akane's house to repair her computer as it has stopped working. Runa accompanies him, as she was the one who asked Ida to call Yamada. Upon arriving at the house, Yamada does his best to repair the computer, so Akane starts preparing lunch for the three of them. Runa sends a picture of Akane and Yamada to Ida, and he tells her that she will have to help them break the ice. So Runa gets to work and hatches a plan to bring them closer. But unfortunately, her plan doesn't work out for the best, as she pushes Akane to have a romantic moment with Yamada. But even though the moment was quite special, he ran away almost immediately, leaving the two waifus completely confused. The end. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get new anime recaps.